All right, we got the inspired part. Now let's get to work.
Shout out to the House of Highlights. Boy, boy, oh boy, oh boy. Game 4. Elimination game. It's on the real number 1. Don't you forget it. Look, bro. This team is playing the hottest basketball, though. Period. This is what the scariest team in the playoffs still. Like, everybody, like somebody else said, it's an open landscape for who wins the playoffs. The Phoenix is the hottest team. Like, remember the Giants when they beat
the Patriots?
They went on that playoff run? Yeah, that crazy playoff run?
Yeah.
Or even Baltimore. Yeah. This is one of those stories where it's like, bro, they just got hot. Like, they're just made for the playoffs.
I would give you that, but I think most of those teams were like wild card teams. Even when like the Steelers won in 05, we were a wild card team.
But here's
this team is one of the best in the league. Regular season wise.
I don't think nobody was picking them though. Come out the West.
Darren, bro, like I told you at the beginning of the playoffs, I said this is exactly what I said. I think Devin Booker is about to show his ass because it's about to be his first playoffs. I think he's about to go crazy on people. But shit, I don't want him to see Bron because I think Bron's gonna knock him out in the first round.
Yeah, I do remember.
He beat Bron.
Yeah, man. Well, injuries also beat the Lakers, but I'm not going to discredit the Suns at all. They showed up and did what the fuck they were supposed to do. Man. Jokic, man.
He played his ass off too. It's not
he really
like
does. All series. He just.
They didn't have the help. That was crazy. You see that?
MVP, bro. Yeah, that was crazy. This dude's a problem. This dude's a problem.
He's a pure scorer, bro.
Anywhere. But no, not only that, bro. One thing we always say, bro, focus on the offensive side if you're an offensive player. We say James Harden don't play no defense. This boy plays defense, man. Like, don't take it for granted for a second. I'm not saying he plays at a crazy elite level, but he puts in the effort.
And that's all defense is, especially when you're playing as a team.
That's all it is. In this NBA, it's all about effort. Oh. Man. Devin Booker is one of my favorite players, man. I can honestly say. And that was before these. I just want to let that be known. Jokic, we told you earlier, already has the double-double. Michael Porter Jr. Two screens. Can't do nothing with that. He tried to get there quick. With the fight. Picked up. Barton stammering down and hammers it home. Monte Morris. Shot clock at 7. Jokic will take it himself and try to cleave it in with a drive. He'll throw it away and a turnover. On the fly, 3. Oh, spinning move. Here comes Booker. All momentum changed in the third quarter, though. When you know what happened. Here comes Morris into Jokic. Jokic.
He wasn't playing defensively to take him out the game, and those guys would play.
Bro, this team really needs Jamal Murray.
I don't see how they don't come out the West without Jamal Murray.
This is beautiful to watch. This is beautiful to watch.
Bro, yeah,
Just imagine how fun this series would have been with Jamal Murray.
He'll
be like, oh yeah, Devin Booker had what? I got that.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is, I don't think Devin Booker's numbers in this series was crazy. I think it was last series that he really went crazy. Don't get me wrong. So let's pause here after this. Go ahead, keep playing for a second. First off, Jokic is about that business. My dude is not backing down one bit. Shout out to Devin Booker. He always the first person to jump for his teammates besides Crowder.
Impact and follow through. It is a No. So this
That's just wrong. That's just
Yeah,
wrong.
that was wrong. That was wrong. For multitude of reasons, right? You can pause right here. So, I kicked the MVP of the league out in a pivot, not like it was a blowout. This ain't a blowout at this point. They still had a chance. Not only that, though, when you actually look at it, maybe a
flopped.
flagrant one.
He flopped.
I
He
don't
flopped.
think you should. No, he got hit in the face.
He got flopped. He flopped.
Yeah, he hit in the face. He got hit in the face. He got hit in the face. I don't think it was a flop. It wasn't a flop. He got hit in the face.
Damn,
That
he
was for
barely
sure.
touched him.
Right, he got hit in the face.
He barely touched him. The nigga was on the ground like he got shot.
Stop, Rob. Stop. Stop, bro. It wasn't a flagrant 2. I will say that. I think we all agree on that. It wasn't a flagrant 2. I think it was a flagrant 1 at most. At most. And that's only because he actually did come in contact with dude's head. But that's it.
The reason they called it a flagrant 2 was because they said he wound up, which is bullshit because he was making a play on the
That's
ball.
bullshit. Not only that, but he had to wind up. It wasn't like he could just run straight to him and stick his hand out and make a play. You have to swat for the ball. That's what it still is. You feel me? At that point, it's unfortunate that he got kicked out because it was beyond the wrong call. It was beyond the wrong call. You can't convince a normal NBA fan. Even if you're just a fan of Phoenix, right? You can't convince a normal NBA fan that's supposed to happen.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah.
Like, you don't kick the MVP out. You just don't do that.
Yep.
Go ahead. But also, MVP shouldn't be losing, shouldn't be getting swept. I will say that. But like I said, Jamal Murray, I agree. It's not really him as much as it's the players around him.
Here comes Campazzo.
Just want to show up a little bit more.
And McGee. It's 9 points. He's doing it all. Erasing shots and scoring and giving them grit.
Your whole game changes with JaVale McGee at your center.
And in these playoffs for the Suns in his first
Because you're playing through your guards now.
Yeah.
Campazzo three. Up fourth.
It looked like it was working out, kind of.
Screen. Paul.
That's hell of a move.
Yeah, bro. You got to step back. Make him have to hit that mid-range, even if it's silky. Make him have to hit that. And let him get a layup.
Straight. Porter. Some pretty good
His graduation next year must be crazy. Michael Porter Jr. must step up crazier next year. I want to look at this team and legit say, oh yeah, they have big 3. I think that's what we was talking about last time, right?
I think so. Big threes. Yeah, the big 3.
Yeah. I was like, I asked you who's their big 3, and you was like Jokic, Murray, Michael Porter Jr. I'm saying Michael Porter Jr. can be that, but he has to be that for this team to be successful.
Darren, honestly, they might have a big 4 if Aaron Gordon comes out crazy next year.
Bro,
Because the way I'm looking at it, all 4 of them can make the All-Star team.
somebody said it perfect. No, somebody said it perfect. Aaron Gordon, we got to stop looking at certain players as good that are good on bad teams and saying, man, if they just had talent, if they just had some teammates around them, nah, man, stop saying that. Because at this point,
What do you mean?
he would be the 4th option on this team, I feel like.
So?
If you say a big 4,
Yeah, correct.
he's the Blake Griffin,
But he's young.
like the Nets.
But he's young. That's the difference. That's literally the difference. He's young.
I don't know, man.
So you have a young, athletic power forward. Imagine if Blake Griffin could play with could have played like on better teams with I don't know. What era did Blake Griffin play in? Put him on I don't know, the Celtics or something. I don't know.
The Celtics.
Something.
They had, I can't remember who was there.
It's probably like old Paul Pierce. But
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
Nah,
You see what I'm saying? Just put Blake Griffin on
can't
a better team where he would have been like a 4th or 3rd option. He would have had a way more successful career. The problem with Blake is they were using him as like a number 2 with that offense.
I mean, that's just the thing that we're sold all the time when people come into the league. Same thing with Paul George. Paul George ain't a number 1, but he was number 1 with Indiana, but he's not a number 1.
I disagree with you strongly. I think he's just. I think he's not number 1 right now because he's playing with Kawhi. Paul George on most basketball teams is a number 1. We can go through them. More than half. Easy.
First and a half.
Easy.
Look, you could be a number one, but if it don't get you a championship, it's not going to matter, right?
That's
you're
my
not-
well, that's
not-
what I think. But that's what I think. But to say he's not a number one is absolutely ridiculous.
He's not a number one. He's
Because
a number
he
one.
can get a team to he can get a team to like he can be a 4 or 5 seed as a number one. I think he can get somebody to the conference finals as a number one. He's done it before. He's done it twice. He's done it twice.
No, before his leg injury. What are you? Nah, bro.
He was fourth MVP voting after his leg injury. So what are you talking about?
And he wasn't. He's still, bro. We still didn't watch that. We did not watch OKC for Paul George that year. We watched it for Westbrook, and everybody knows it,
But he was fourth for MVP voting.
bruh.
Fourth or third, something like that.
They still went home in the first round. They went home in the first round to Dame.
But everybody knew Dame was better than Russ. Dame outplayed Russ the whole series. Russ had a shitty series.
Dame outplayed Russ.
Russ had a shitty series. I don't think Paul George had a shitty series.
You're saying Paul George is the number one on that team. That's what you're saying, right?
No.
On that OKC team.
That's not what I'm saying at all. All I'm saying is he was fourth in MVP voting. That's all I said.
So he wasn't the number one on OKC. Because
I don't think so.
he was either. Okay. So if he wasn't the number one, no, hold up. If he wasn't the number one, and Russ, let's just say Russ was, because there had to be somebody, right? Let's just say Russ was the number one.
Wait, let me say this. Two. That's because of how Russ's personality. Because Russ had a shitty series. Russ didn't play well that series, if you remember. Dame beat his ass the whole series. I'm pretty sure they lost in like 5 or something like that.
Dame, no disrespect to Westbrook, but in the playoffs, Dame and Curry both owned him in the playoffs consistently in the West. So you got Paul George there to put y'all over the edge. It didn't happen. I'm saying he's not the number one on most teams.
But the number one on that team played like shit. I don't know why you're not like. That's what happened. That's why they lost that series. Russell Westbrook did not have a good series. He was playing terrible. That triple-double thing wasn't working in the playoffs.
Who was the number two? Who's the number two?
Paul George.
Portland.
Oh, probably. I don't know. CJ? Maybe? I don't know.
So you telling me the person who ended at number 4 and the person who I believe got the MVP the year before for his triple-doubles.
Westbrook never does it well in the playoffs. Historically.
I'm just saying, bro. Look, okay, I'm cool with that, but Paul George is not number one. You can put him on something like
I don't know how you can say that when we've seen him do that.
You can put him on Detroit. You can put him on Detroit, but they're not going to get to the playoffs.
Hold on. You're literally going to make me pull up every NBA team. I knew you were going to make me do this.
No, bro, it's not that, bro. You could just put him on certain teams. He's not going to get them to the playoffs. It
Pistons
is what it is. He's not getting them to the playoffs.
He's not getting the Pistons to the playoffs?
No.
You're on crack. In the East, you're on crack.
What is wrong with you? Why are you being so disrespectful to the rest of these teams? Now, if you put him on the Bulls, maybe it's a little bit interesting with him and Zach LaVine. But he's still not a number one. Zach LaVine should be the number one on that team.
I think you'll make Zach LaVine number one because I think you want the ball in Zach LaVine's hands more. You want Paul George playing in the offense, coming off screens, ISOing. I think that's different. But
so
I
you're
agree
telling
with you
me
about Zach LaVine.
in these bottom 3 teams, because I think the
not the
Raptors
Cavs,
are good.
not the Cavs, not the Cavs.
Okay, so the bottom 2, you think he gets them to the playoffs next year? If he
I gotta look at the Magic's roster real quick.
It's not happening.
That's not happening. He's getting the Pistons to the playoffs though.
No, absolutely not.
The Raptors are going to the playoffs.
What did the Pistons have that you think he's going to get them to the playoffs?
Paul George.
Only him?
Yeah. You're
disrespecting the East. You're disrespecting the East, and most people do. So I'm not mad at you,
Darren. I'm going to keep disrespecting the East as long as playoff teams are going to the playoffs with below 500 records. Like I'm going to keep disrespecting the East.
But you're telling me one player the caliber of Paul George can go to one of the worst teams, if not the worst team in the
I think they'll be better than the Pacers, and I think they'll be better than the Wizards. Definitely, for a fact.
No. And I like Dwayne Casey, but no.
Putting him on any of these bottom teams would automatically put them in like this play-in contention spot.
If you put them in Raptors,
they'll be right there. Maybe right there if you're lucky.
And the Bulls, maybe. If you put them in the Raptors, Bulls, maybe. But they're not getting up till
the Raptors might be like the 6th seed.
Maybe the 7th seed. Maybe. Nah, bro, you
But-
tripping. I gotta say, you tripping. I gotta say it, man. You tripping. I like Paul George too, but you tripping. He's not a number one.
We've
on
seen
a
it before,
real-
so I don't know how you can say that.
on a real playoff team. No, he's not a
They
number
were
one.
those Indiana teams were real playoff teams.
And he got injured, and he didn't come back, and those teams weren't, they weren't there no more. So what's the problem? I don't get it. When he got injured, we gonna act like the Pacers didn't disappear?
They had a
They
trade
disappeared
because
Yeah,
he was
they
their number
eventually
one.
tra-
Tell me
They
I'm
traded
wrong.
him. He was their number one, but they weren't getting to the finals. They weren't getting to the Eastern Conference Finals.
That's not
Except
true.
With,
That's not true.
well,
They were
no,
playing.
You're talking
They
about
played
Miami.
LeBron
You're talking
twice.
about before. I'm talking about that's before the injury. Those are before the injury.
He was an MVP
Yeah.
after the injury. That's what. So it doesn't even matter.
No, he wasn't an MVP.
Fourth
He was
MVP voting. That's what I
fourth
meant.
in MVP. He's not a bro. I like Paul George. I'm not trying to disrespect him.
I think you are.
After the bubble, look. No, I'm not, because check any video where we've been covering the Clippers. I said he's been showing up all playoffs. All playoffs, he's been showing up this year. Last year in the bubble, he didn't. So, and I just don't see it translate into going to the Pistons, where you can't even tell me who the guards are on the team.
They got two Muslim dudes.
Yeah, but you can't tell me who their names are, man.
So
Is Ish on this team? No, Ish ain't even on this team no more.
yeah. What's his name? Jello Ball can never make this team. That's how I kind of know he's probably pretty trash.
I didn't even know Dennis Smith Jr. Man, get Dennis Smith Jr. out of this team, because he's too talented to be on this team. But ultimately, bro, I like Paul George, not number one. But I feel like we getting completely out of whack with what we were talking
Yeah,
about.
we probably should wrap up.
Yeah, but real quick, just to wrap up, Jokic shouldn't have got thrown out the game. Here, maybe a flagrant one. Devin Booker is unguardable, even in this series where his numbers got toned down. Matter of fact, before we get out of here, let's get the box scores up. Let me see what really happened last night. Give me 1 second. Or are you pulling up on your side?
You want me to pull it up?
Let's go. I got it. Okay. Yeah. Whew. Devin Booker, 34 points. I think that's his highest amount that he scored in this series. I could be wrong, but I think that's the highest amount. Chris Paul, 37 points.
Damn.
Good God, man.
You're not gonna want if Chris Paul goes over 30.
If Chris Paul, yeah, man.
If Chris Paul's
I mean-
plus 25, I want to know his record when he's plus 25. Honestly, 'cause I don't know how you win that game when he's plus 25.
Yeah, 37. He's the highest scorer on the team. And the
They,
highest.
they, were- they
assist.
were kind of letting him walking into that spot. I don't know. I don't know how you guard Chris Paul, because once he gets that, he gets you on his hip. He can stop on a dime for a mid range. He can get you. He can go to the lane. He can dump it off to somebody. It's just too much you can do.
No, one thing I will also say, I don't think there's two guards in the league that are at least still in the playoffs that can defend, that take pride on the defensive end like Devin Booker and Chris Paul. You feel me? Every other guard, no disrespect to them, they all extremely good scorers. I don't want to name nobody, but
Drew
they're all
Holiday?
really.
He's still in the playoffs, right?
He's a good defender, but he's not as impactful on the offensive side as Chris Paul and Devin Booker. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At least not for Milwaukee anyway. So it's crazy. Like, these two might just be the best two-way guards on one team that's left in the playoffs, and that could be a challenge for any of these high-scoring guards. You feel me? If they get in your face, like.
That, and I was texting my cousin. I was telling him, I think Devin Booker can outscore anybody in this league. He can go point for point, shot for shot with anybody.
At least that. If not outscore him, he can be right there with him. Like, there's this class that we finally got to where we're starting to see Devin Booker, Jamal Murray, Donovan Mitchell. Tatum's not a guard, but you could throw him in there. Those guys who you could just, hey, here's the ball. We need points. Thank you.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like, those are the guys, man. But I think the thing that separates Devin Booker too, as well, is first off playing with Chris Paul, but also his defense.
Okay. Yep. I agree. I agree.
Last things last, Michael Porter Jr. got them 20 points. Jokic ended with 22, got kicked out the game, and Will Barton 25. Yep. So yeah, they just Jamal Murray. I mean, we're just going to sum this series up to that, but Aaron Gordon didn't show up to me. I'm gonna leave that as the side note. Aaron Gordon did not show up like he should have. I'm not saying they should have won this series, but he should have showed up a lot more.
I agree. All right. Well, we would like to thank y'all once again for checking out our videos. Make sure you like and subscribe down below. Also, make sure you check us out on social media. We're on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can also find us on TikTok at Inspired by Ambition. And you can go to our website, inspiredbyambitionpro.com, to go buy hoodies and t-shirts that we're selling on there. Go check those out. Once again, y'all, we would like to thank y'all for checking out our videos. We really do appreciate it. Thank you again. Peace out. See you next time.
Peace. Stay up.
From small to triple XL, all inspired by ambition gear at inspiredbyambitionpro.com. That's www.inspiredbyambitionpro.com.